welcome to the webinar, Why is Emotional Intelligence Important in Innovation Leadership? We create this webinar and as well a series of workshops on this topic with Celia Avila Rao from Windrose Global Advisors. We are doing this for the NoCo Collab With community to announce the knowledge from the community, but as well, all these webinars will be done by the members of the community. It's to engage with the knowledge. Sometimes it's invisible and it's very difficult to get via the technology. So sometimes we can digitalize something, but in some parts we cannot digitalize everything. So that's why these webinars exist, and we will have every first Friday of the month a webinar. The agenda for today is to understand what is emotional intelligence and what is the link with innovation. So the first activity we are doing is about to understand really what is emotional intelligence. And this is the first activity. So this is a very interactive webinar. So we have to now to think about how we are feeling now. And every one of you can express, because we have to understand the basics of the emotions, and the basic is the mood, how we are feeling now. So you see here mood framework with colors. This is not personality colors, they are feelings. And this is the main exercise for you, how you name it, because it's very difficult to name feelings sometimes. So how you name now your current mood and which kind of color you are. So choose.
I can go first because I'm kind of biased, because today I could define myself as a very happy person because I have just closed a hiring position. I closed a data scientist for my company. It was a really difficult one to hire. So I just closed it 1 hour ago. So I'm full happiness, and today is Friday, so you can imagine.
Angelica? Oh, Joko? Maybe?
My color is deep blue because just a beautiful day today actually in London.
Celia?
Me, I'm between sadness and content. Because the sadness for me is proving what happens where we are talking about. I'm a little concentrated now, and content because I'm so balanced. No, the feeling of okay, nice to be with you. I'm very curious about the conference.
Asun?
For me, it's happiness because, well, I quickly give a short introduction because I didn't do that before. So I think I'm the only one, or not the few one, who is a professional in the field of psychology. So I work for Adidas in headquarters in Germany, and I will take care of all the community and engagement activities for the technology side of the company. So the reason why I joined here is because, there has been many changes and we are somehow in the limbo, still in the limbo. And all these topics around emotions are key, to really embrace and success in change. So my current status is happiness because, like I said, after, a time of knowing nothing, so it seems that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the sun is shining. So I'm happy. I'm happy because I see many opportunities, and yeah, so that's me. Happiness.
Angelica? Emmanuel?
Yes, good afternoon. I think I'm on the blue side, which is unusual. But it's just like now I'm in a situation where I'm forced to hide my emotions. because that's the environment. Usually, I'm the one who, if I'm happy, I say it. If I'm not, I say it. But I have to smile, and people will, they have to smile back. But then all of us, we know that we shouldn't be smiling, but then that's what we are doing. But it's a temporary thing, but it's a blow. Thank you.
So if I can go myself, I think I am now, I can say in the middle, so a bit sad, a bit angry, a bit happy because I am doing the webinar now, but that's before, and this week it was very good and tough at the same time to discover some partners are not good. So that's always disappointed. And well, I think I need some time to recover from this. But it was like a roller coaster this week. So it was very, very, very extremely good in some sense, but as well disappointed in others. So I think this is the, all of colors at the same time. So now we are going to the basics of what is innovation and what exactly means innovation. So innovation is creating value from creativity. If there is not value, there is not innovation, which means innovation is not only having ideas. So innovation is about the impact. So to bring we have to bring this to the market or to the people, like they can use this, and this is when is innovation. And the sense of creativity is because any kind of creativity could be a small process, but you have a big impact in the user. It could be like you change maybe the marketing strategy so the users are getting more of your new products and services. It could be like you invent something, like it could be, but that does not mean innovation. So innovation is when the people are using your products, is when you change the life of the people. And the value could be societal value, could be sustainability value, could be money value. And this is the broad perspective of innovation. So here, when we are talking about values, how we are doing innovation, the value the company has to have if they want to have innovation, or the person if they want to do innovation, is our creativity, value, impact, knowledge, technology, change, collaboration, and working together. And these values are going more to help to make innovation happen. The basics is to understand what is emotional intelligence. We start with the self-awareness activity of how is the mood today, how we are feeling now. This is the first. You see here, emotional intelligence is not a personality, and we can understand it ourselves, but as well to understand others. And this is emotional intelligence, how we can perceive our emotions, ourselves, how we are feeling now in really deep sense. So here you have like the flower with different colors and vocabulary, because sometimes one of the things is missing the vocabulary and in the intersection between different colors and emotions. As well the awareness of how the other people are feeling. This is one of the reasons we can say emotional intelligence, how the others are getting anger, so you have to react differently. You have not to, we can say, close the eyes, I don't see you, in a whole, not only the words and the other type of communication, the body language, but as well how you perceive. So the most intelligence emotional is how much you can perceive, and as well how you perceive a room, how you perceive the city, the planet, so the external, not only the people around you, but as well what is happening in more broad level. So the activities is first perceiving emotions, and the other is using emotions. So now, for me, like in the case of this week, it was like quite crazy. To prepare for this webinar, I said, well, no, I have to change my mood now to be green in the content side as much I can to be able to perform in the webinar. And as well, in this case is because I am doing the webinar, but maybe in other cases we have a meeting, or you have a meeting, or we have to negotiate. So when we are in the sense of anger, we cannot work because we cannot make decisions. Or always we have to move, or the team cannot perform. There is this complexity of emotions. Like one is anger, the other is very sad. So first we have to tackle this to understand what is happening and to change the mood of the team. So the other is this question of understanding why you are sad, why you are angry. To go to this root of understanding each other, the empathy we have to have inside ourselves, but as well when we are working with others. And the managing emotions is when I set my example of I was sad, anger, and everything has been win. And then to perform, I have to change my mood, which means I am not changing the personality, but I am aware how I am feeling. And to perform, I have to change my mood. I cannot come here like crying, and this is the basics of all the emotional intelligence. That's the basics. And it takes time to process, it takes time to understand and to apply. They are the basics. So here now we have to make this link, an intersection between innovation and emotional intelligence. And in the middle, like we are all working together with people, not with machines. We have to interact with each other. We have to understand why we are or what we are stand for. We have to understand our environment. We cannot just block and don't see like there is no one there. And we are working with people, but they are like computers. So here it is about how emotional intelligence match with these values of innovation. In this case, it's increasing empathy, increasing motivation to work with innovation, look for frustration and disappointment, and inspire people to make a safe place to talk and understand new ideas and failure. Because when we are working on collaboration, well, something, not everything works. So maybe one has an idea and then like we see it's not a good idea, so we have to explain to this person it's not a good idea, and the person has to be maybe frustrated, but has to be still part of the team. Has not to, or for the innovation culture is very important. Like when someone is not accepted or the idea is not accepted, this could be a catastrophe for the innovation culture, which means it's disappointing, it's making critics around, is unhappy with innovation because they don't accept my ideas. So it's very important to go through, to understand what is happening, why, and to help the people to manage this frustration. And then it's where emotional intelligence, like you manage these emotions, it's helping them to understand all the process. And the same is when you are bringing something to the market, where maybe the market is not ready, it's a lot of work and to bring something to the market. So in this case, it's to manage this frustration and disappointment all along the journey and to create this resilience to bring the new product to the market. So it's not only individually, but as well with the team. And some people are not ready to go like all together to bring this new product to the market because they cannot manage their own emotions, their own feelings, the frustration. So innovation, like I was introducing a bit is about motivation. And motivation is is connected to the self-confidence. So if you are good with yourself, you have a very good self-confidence, it's very easy to keep going on motivation. And that's, I think that here is the strong link to the psychology. So it's not, and that's why all these money awards, sometimes innovation, they are not working at all, is because it's not about money, it's about how you are feeling about the work, or how you are feeling about the products, or about the people working on innovation. Because it's very important to motivate, but the motivation is to give, to see the value of the people. It's not, you are doing this super bad, and that's all, and then, you are super great. But sometimes when the people are not motivated, it's because we are not valuing them. Because there is a strong link to self-confidence. So if you want a team to perform, you have to value them, to listen to them, to be empathetic to them, and with what their problems they have, what they are feeling. And this is a key point, because we are not machines. We are not getting ready to say, I have to do this to-do list because I have to do the to-do list. No, the people have to be motivated to work. And innovation is very disappointed because it's not something streamlined, like everything works, and it's not a process. Or idea generation, there are always some frustration. Going to the market, there is a lot of frustration. Building prototypes, there is always not something like it works. So it's very important to have this understanding inside the team, and like everyone have this relationship, which means it's not friendship, but we have to respect each other, and we have to understand each other. So that's another exercise now for you. So to reflect, and then you are talking. So how can I apply innovation intelligence now with this small introduction to my daily work? Jesus, maybe you are bringing something to the market.
Yeah. Indeed, I believe that instead of sharing with all of you what I'm doing now related to emotional intelligence, I think I have another more interesting story which happened just a few years ago when working for Intel. We were doing this kind of smart glasses for Oakley, and I used to have a team geolocated in different countries, so working with different time zones. And I remember to have a real big challenge when coordinating all my team. I used to have coordinating from Spain. I used to have people in Shanghai, which is 6 hours ahead, then people in my office in Seville, then people in the east coast of the US in Boston, 6 hours behind, and then 9 hours in California. So it was kind of a mess. But I think the challenge was not really to coordinate the team, because as of today we have plenty of tools, right? The problem was exactly this: how to make sure that all people were engaging in the project with trying to understand the frustrations, what they were claiming, which is a problem, and to explain to them maybe this is not a problem. But if you don't engage with them from an emotional point of view rather than just technical point of view, the innovation won't happen. Uh, so I was, hearing all of you telling your emotional state a few minutes ago. It's not the same to empathize with all of you through this kind of tools, rather than if we were all together on the same room, and then we can ask you different, well, why are you sad? Well, and then you close your eyes, and then it's kind of a direct look to the eyes to the other person. So these days, all the tech companies, like now our startup, we are, of course, promoting this kind of remote work, etc. Because on the one hand, people claim that they can be more productive, and I agree. But at the same time, it's because I believe, this is personal opinion, they are subestimating that what they are losing with more being more close to the people, this perspective of the emotional intelligence, because this is so important, because if you don't feel engaged, you don't feel that you have the in the mood to do, to get more risk in your daily work, then innovation won't happen. So this is the story I wanted to share with all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. I think it's a very good story. So, Emmanuel? So, Asun?
No, for now.
Okay. So, Asun?
Okay, so for me is because I'm not in the technical field, but I'm in the field of engagement. So for me, this should be approached first with a change mindset, and either with activities, with making the switch, so people can start performing, being creative, and that's the foundation that will trigger innovation afterwards. So I feel that what I can do is facilitate this very beginning to be in the right mindset to move a step forward.
Yoko?
Yes, maybe several things, maybe because one thing is I found area of as a motivation, actually curiosity. One is curiosity, but another is actually naturally good at. And I confuse quite often, and because I'm an academics and originally and theoretician, and I'm always driven by the logic. And when I went to the politics, because as I told at the beginning, because and then politics requires a. So I presented my party manifesto, and then they liked it, and so I became a candidate for the national politics election candidate. But when I enter the political area, it really requires emotional strength, because I'm bashed, and then actually, so I wanted to do so many things logically, but because I was academics and politics is so important, so curiosity drove me to that direction. But I realized that I'm emotionally not strong, and when I'm bashed, I'm very, very depressed, and then I was screaming at home, and my husband couldn't take anymore, and etc. etc. And I wasn't happy. And so I realized who I am through the experience. So sort of lack of my self-understanding and lack of emotional self-understanding, everything not understanding at all. This everything is logical. So that was a through experience. I only got it, and then once I got it, and then sort of yeah, I am. So still I'm really always caring about what's going on in the political area, but. Now, so I'm driven towards what I like and I'm good at. And for me, innovation or idea always every day, every morning come up. So creation is no problem, but the problem is for me the persistence, and I cannot keep going like emotionally weak, and I cannot keep on. So idea comes up, no problem, but I think a combination of those emotional intelligence really, it's a really structured, dynamic thing. So that kind of altogether integrity, I think I have to learn from here, because I'm so stupid in the sense.
Okay, thank you, Yoko.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to participate?
I will tell two things. I think in the emotional intelligence, when we are talking about the skills, is the position is like Hara told, is to be aware where how I feel. Then in motivation, of course, is part of the self-confidence, in the sense that the curiosity is very spontaneously, but sometimes this curiosity is about to be perfect, is had something special, and then you have to deal with frustration. And I think also for me it's also important that change in the innovation is very important. Change is also connected, or the gap with fear. One of the emotions, a strong emotion And maybe if this is a point that we understand emotional intelligence as solution for everything, and emotional intelligence is only to know how I feel now. I feel threat. I feel like this, me. But when we are in the group, it's not about also discover who is doing. I don't know. It's about to deal yourself, and then if the group, what is the point? Is the point to discover? I don't know, a new star, and then we are different teams, and it's very difficult to deal with everybody. It's only the point that 5 minutes before you did, Jesus, no? How are you? Now, how are you doing? Because when something happens that nobody is in the same wave, we need to know what happens with us, why I'm avoiding or the retiring. And this is the important thing, that in the innovation, sometimes is more about happiness, and then in happiness is brainstorming, and you will never, never, ever do a new project. You need to do all of these stuffs. So the anger is the pioneer you are going through, because I'm curious, because I'm motivated. But then all this fear, the sorry, 4 points is to be content. No, the way we are dealing, negotiating, the way that the job is about content. But sadness is the sense of error checking. Is that you need to prove if this creativity or the group is in the same wave, and take only 5-10 minutes. I don't know the business. I'm talking about only the emotions, and this is maybe the point to understand this. We need always know that the emotions are connected to our cognitions, and our cognitions are connected to the emotions. And when something happens in the innovation, we can look what happens with us. No, I hope you understood more or less what I want to tell you.
And I think you introduced the next slide. So I am putting this slide now, then everybody can follow your explanation now.
Because the motivation is also the opposite of motivation is procrastination. You know the word, and then I think. Yeah. Sorry, it's here.
So here you see what Celia is explaining, and what is the impact of our emotions at work and when we are doing innovation. And this is very important to understand. Emotional intelligence, they are skills. So everyone can learn. And I think now when all this trend of mindfulness, like to know ourselves, that's maybe we can say is the first step to be aware about us. But that's where we have to be aware about the others and our team. And what exactly means this mood at work? So you see here the quadrant, we did the activity when we start, the mood meter. So here you see the anger means frustration. And when you are angry, you cannot do business. That's very simple. And I think we have to understand this, like when you're like, ah! So first, stop, reflect, breathe, change your mood, and then you can do business. So this understanding, this profound understanding, and to see other people angry for something. First point is to solve this anger. First point. So the other, when we are going to the yellow, the happiness. So we are super overexcited with things. We cannot do nothing either because we're so happy. I think all the adrenaline is up. So we're like, what? And that's the problem with all this ideation part of innovation. So maybe for these brainstormings, bootcamp, and hackathons, so you have this hype of adrenaline and happiness. And it's maybe good for the ideation to have ideas. It's very good to be like, but maybe not so to solve the problems, to find solutions. So as well in this kind of activities, we have to go more into the mood changing of the team and the people in the room. because maybe we are not having good ideas. Like, yes, if we for example, we have the brainstorm about how we can be green at home, everyone, switch off the lights. So maybe that's not innovation because we are so in the hype, like we are not looking really at the problem. And as well, we are super happy. We cannot do business because we are like in the cloud there. Here is in these two moods, we can see the hippie and the ego and afraid of frustration in this area. And this is very important to have this link and this understanding. So in the blue side is the sadness. We are sad. We are error checking. It's like, what is happening? We are did this. So how? And then is when you go to deep detail. Oh, what is the problem? What is happening? Like, and this is here is when we can in innovation we can find the problems, and then to understand the problem to then after make the solution. But we have to be in this mood, critical mood, like we are not happy with this. What is happening? To understand the real problem. And then the green side is when you are calm, content, everything is fine. So you are feeling like everything is fine. Like everyone is like in the good, right mood. That's the best one because it's when you can take actions and you can make decisions now here. And you can innovate and you are resilient because I am doing this. Well, it's not working, but I know I will find a solution. Just keep going, but in a very fine mood. And it's not only yourself. The team has to have this mood as well, has to have this understanding of this, dealing with the fear, with the frustration. If I am doing this, maybe no. It's like, no, we are doing this, we try. We go. So in the change from anger to the green, so it's a work, it's an internal work with us. And as well what is happening around us, and what is happening in the team. We have to be aware of this. So creative with resilience, so to go in the long run, respect to everyone, how we can create the team and this product all together. So, and this is very important in a team or in an organization. We are all together in the same boat. We are all together. We are doing this together. There is not individuals with ideas or individuals with super performing activities. No, we are all together. If shit happens, we are all together in the shit. If something cool happens, we are all together in the cool thing, like it's happening. So this understanding as well is very important for the team performance and for innovation. So this belonging, like, okay, we are here, we have to do this. We understand we have to do the mission and the goals and the strategy and all the objectives. So communication is very important. But we have to feel like we can do it. And this is in the green quadrant. So now we are, that's my last slide about questions. So to have more this open conversation, because the webinar is only for this introduction, but it's the first eye-opening. So if you want questions or a case to explain.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the good presentation, and thanks to the team for the interaction and experience. I have one direct question, and everybody can help me or try to see. So I'm a consultant, and I work in different teams and different projects. Usually, I'm based in Europe, but I mostly work in Africa. And that means sometimes I have to change countries depending on the project site. And sometimes I happen to be in the teams, and then after like 1 month, I found out that most of the things I believed or was told, like people withheld information, or people I trusted are not what I expected, or then at some point my emotion become really like anger. Then it becomes difficult to manage my anger. I know you saying that we need emotion intelligence is a skill we need to learn, but it seems that I'm not overcoming that issue. Like now, managing my emotions, and then so when I don't manage my emotions, it leads again to emotion. When I'm feeling I was unable to manage my emotion, then become like a spillover issue. So anyone who has experienced that and overcome that issue, or any comment, or anyone who can share on that? Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. It is difficult. One of the things is when you cannot manage is to stop immediately what you are doing, to sit and to breathe. Profound breathing is very important. And I think go for a walk outside. If you are lucky and you have nature around, you go to the park, to a forest. And this is not, we can say, I have no time to do this. Well, then you continue with anger. Because even to look at the window with a cup of tea and relax and look at the nothing, be with yourself. I think that's one of the, maybe you have to connect to yourself, who you are and what are you doing and why you are doing this. And as well, your body, physical body, is a very good indicator of if something is not going properly. So you have to find your relax with yourself. And in contact with nature, I think is a very powerful way. But maybe, Celia, you are the expert in psychology.
Many experts in psychology is here now. One of the things is if you cannot go out from the conference, for the group, from the situation, you never know if you are taking the anger of your colleagues or your anger, your frustration. You are dealing with your own frustration. Okay, it's not the problem. The question for you is, if you cannot go out, you need to breathe. There is a technique. The name is breathe, express, or alba emoting. In this technique, the name is step out. And you breathe with your diaphragm, and you blow the diaphragm full and let go. And this is connecting with the biological. It's not physical, it's not psychological, it's physical. You can break this anger quickly, and you can break the thoughts because you are thinking too much in the moment. And I think it's very important. You can break this high level of anger, and then you can stay there. Because sometimes we feel threat, and then we think we need to answer very quickly and defend ourselves because people think that I'm not very clever, or maybe when I'm not answering, I'm very weak. I don't know. It's only thoughts. In this moment, stop the thoughts. Breathe in the diaphragm is very, very important because you are blocking the level of the anger. And then I think it's nice when you can be aware that you are angry, but because normally we are answering, we're doing things, and we are not connected with the anger. In German, you say fear is always hiding anger. And sometimes when we are also scared, we are hiding our anger. And I think it's very important that you are aware about the emotion, but then you need to break this very quickly, and then you can act. I think maybe can help you. I don't know.
Do you have another case or questions?
I have a question. Please.
Yes, I was going to say thank you. I think for the inputs and the examples and then the suggestion. I will try them, and hopefully it will work. And yeah, and if it works, maybe I will I will share the feedback.
Thank you.
And one thing now also is don't take the things personal.
Mm.
This is the first one.
Yeah, and I think that's the main source of it, because people tend to tell me that whenever I'm on a project, I take it personally. And then when it becomes an issue, I can't take myself out of the project. And yeah, and probably that's where issues are coming from. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yoko?
Yeah. My question is, I can understand other people, but I cannot understand myself. Quite often I'm fighting, and then let's say something to try, and then basically the nature is have to kind of fight through, and then become like a almost habit, and then quite to stop. And then when I realized that I'm not good at politics, was actually when I went to the holiday, because it was summer, and then I was fighting. But when I went to the Indonesia, I realized, it doesn't work for me. But you cannot go every moment to holiday. So how to keep distance? I mean, kind of judgment, kind of, this is not for me, or because nature itself is just continuous fighting, for example. And how can we better judge self?
I think in this case, like, and this is an easy one, but difficult to implement. So we cannot wait until holidays or summer holidays or a retreat to solve our problems. So it has to be every day. Has to be, in the case of very intense, we can say, environment, like in politics. Emotions, I think, emotional intelligence is very important for politics, for diplomacy. It's every day in the morning, have a time for you. Cup of tea, looking at the window. It's not only about meditation, it's more to have a calm time only for you, for yourself. Start maybe at the beginning is difficult, but if you keep going every morning, 5 minutes, like, no, that's my time now. I sit, I breathe. So this connectivity to yourself is very, very important.
Mm.
You have not to go out to be in a paradise every morning. Paradise is inside you.
And it's a question of building habits. Once you allow yourself or invest, the first 3-4 weeks in that turns into a habit, and it's kind of innate in you.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Yoko. Do you have another case or question?
I think it's to Yoko, is spontaneously. The thing is, one thing is this time is giving you also the feeling. Then how are you? Because when we don't take this time, we're taking a lot of emotions for everybody, from everybody, and we are giving to everybody. And I think it's important this point to see that the name now is mindfulness, but this is to be here, and then you can also know what happens with you. What are you taking from? Yeah.
Here, I didn't understand.
That the mindfulness is this time you take the time for you, this couple of minutes for you. It's also to be aware, how are you feeling now? If you are taking anger for everybody, if you're thinking, I don't know, this is the point, is to be with you now, without thinking and without feeling. You are there. You need to be worried about something.
Thank you very much.
Now, as a conclusion, think about this quote, because it's super true. It does not matter what you think, but what you feel and how you make people feel. And when we remember someone, some situation, a keynote speaker or something, or a person we talk to, We are not remembering always what they say or said, but always remember how we were feeling with this person and with this team. So investing time on the emotions and the energy in the room is make a huge difference in our project, in our business, everywhere with us. So we have these workshops on emotional intelligence in the ESA, in the Space Agency Innovation Centers. We have 6 workshops this year in Noordwijk in the Netherlands, physical workshops. And for the webinars, the next webinar is next Friday, 6 March at noon. And the topic is how to do digital transformation in Africa. Experience from the field. And will be hosted by Emmanuel Odahemuka, who he was in the webinar today because he's bringing all these fintech services, how to do digital transformation there. And this is quite interesting. So thank you very much.